Hey everyone, ahlan wa sahlan fikum. Welcome to another dialogue lecture series, let's call it that, where I'm going through all of the dialogues that are currently available on PalWeb. These are an updated version of the annotated transcripts that I did a long time ago, which were just hard-coded text essentially. But now using all the tools that I've created for PalWeb, they are a lot more sort of dynamic and interactable, and you can look at each sentence individually, bookmark it, navigate to all the individual terms within the dictionary, and then the dictionary has a lot of more things to offer as well. So, yeah, if you want more information a little bit about how all that works, you can check out the previous videos in this series. Um, in the past, I think I did them more or less in a standalone way, but I think that the best way to go through these videos is to actually go through them in order, just to minimize the amount how much I have to repeat myself. And so some of the concepts that I've explained in the earlier videos in the series, I will not repeat too much, um, and I will assume that you've watched the previous videos. But if you haven't, that's okay. I mean, you should still be able to get some stuff out of this. And yeah, as a reminder, I'm gonna go through it relatively quickly, quicker than I used to, uh, just because I know that if you have access to this, you can actually, if there are specific words that you don't know, you can always just open up the sentence and see the meaning. It'll list all of the individual terms in the sentence, and you can see the meanings and go to their respective dictionary pages. So I'm not gonna sort of stop at each word, and I'm gonna assume that you either know it or that you can just reference that. And instead, I'm gonna focus on just more grammatical concepts and things like that, which are they are kind of explained in the wiki on PalWeb, but I think it's very useful to unpack it together. Um, and yeah, it's stuff that wouldn't be on the dictionary page, so I think it's useful to go through that together primarily, and use our time for that. So yeah, so it is a for a bit of a intermediate level, and uh, and yeah, so because if you're at more of a beginner level, you're probably going to be stuck on sort of just the individual meanings of words. But that's okay. I think at any rate, anyone can benefit from watching these videos because you'll get used to, you will discover new words, and you will sort of get used to how they are used and so on. So I would still watch this anyway. So I'm gonna go ahead and get it started. This video in particular is about this kid who, was basically he's approached by strangers who apparently were trying to kidnap him, and then it's basically a lesson about stranger danger. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and get started. His name is Sanad, and so Sanad says to his sister, they're walking home from school, and he says, Sally, احذري شو صار معي اليوم. Guess what happened with me today. then he says اليوم وديع كان ماشي بالصف بتخوت علي بصوت عالي عامل حاله cool. So today وديع is the kid's name, was walking, ماشي active participle, بالصف in class, بتخوت علي, he was making fun of me, بصوت عالي, which means out loud, and عامل حاله cool. Um, I am kind of going through some individual words a little bit. I find it important to uh, sort of pause with idioms, idiomatic expressions which are made out of multiple terms, because essentially you might not pick up on them, and you might try to kind of translate based on the individual meanings of the terms, but sometimes they have a meaning that is different from the sum of their parts. So بصوت عالي means out loud, literally in a loud voice, but it means out loud, right? عامل حاله, the verb itself is عمل حاله. عمل is to make or to do. So it's to make oneself, i.e., to pretend or to act in a certain way. And in this case, instead of عمل, it's عامل, it's the active participle. So one thing I wanted to note here is that um, active participles, like we said before, they usually have a perfect, present perfect meaning, i.e., someone had done something or has done something. But with some very frequent words, it can have a present meaning. So in this case, mashi is one of them. So he was walking, he was acting cool, and it's the same, the present continuous meaning is the same as that of the simple present, which is just the, bamshi, ba'mel, etc. And in fact, the active participles, when used with this present continuous meaning, they are synonymous with the simple present. I mean, you could have said, كان بيمشي, كان بيعمل حاله. That would have been fine as well. And here we see بيتخوت, we don't see the active participle, we just see the simple present, and this is the same as, the simple present is the same in meaning as the active participles. So he was walking in class, he was making fun of me, and he was acting cool. Yeah. So that's what's going on here. And then he says, طنشته لف لقى المس بوجهه. I ignored him. He turned around and found the teacher in his face. Miss the teacher. And then he says, مشوت بهدلك. Yeah, مشوت بهدلك بهدلة. So to start with, bahdal means to scold. And what I wanted to note here is actually, essentially every word in the sentence is kind of interesting. And I wanted to pause here. And I promise I'm not going to pause as much, but this sentence in particular. To start with, it's quite common to see a verb, like to emphasize an action. You can see, you may see the verb followed by the verbal noun of the same verb. So in this case, bahdal, bahdale, or akalto, akal. I ate it, eating, or I ate it, food. It sounds weird, but in Arabic, it's totally normal. It's a way of just emphasizing that thing. So she scolds you with scolding. It just means that she scolds you really intensely. It kind of intensifies the action. So yeah, that's what's going on here. I don't know if I have other examples. I don't think there's any other examples, at least in this dialogue. But yeah, this is totally normal. And then this meaning, so shu obviously means what, but it can also be used in this way. Indicates emotional response to something, how something. So in this case, how she scolds you. Or you could say how beautiful, or yeah, how busy you are, or just something like that, right? So it just indicates your kind of amazement in a way. It doesn't have to be amazement, but something like that, an emotional response. And then ma is also being used for emphasis. And yeah, I mean, essentially it can just precede anything and just emphasize the whole thing after. So so yeah, this ma will come up again. We've looked at it before, but it'll come up again. And then Sally says, the sister says, طبعا وأنت شايف المس. And here, remember, it doesn't just mean and, it also means while something. And in fact, if it was and, because they're talking about something that happened in the past, you would expect this to be in the past tense. Like أنت كنت شايف or something, if it means like you were seeing. And in fact, it does mean you were seeing, but this clause is in the present because this means while. Like while you are doing something. So this is in the present, but the whole thing, she's referring to something that happened in the past, but it's in the present because this means while. So all this was happening وأنت شايف المس, while you were seeing the teacher. Yeah, actually, yeah, now, I didn't realize this before, but now that I think about it, when you say while in English, like, and you're speaking about something in the past, you still use the past. For example, when I was young. But in Arabic, when we use this ul in this way, whatever the subordinate clause is, it's in the present. So for example, when I was young, in Arabic, it's وأنا صغير. It's literally just that. وأنا صغير means when I was young, but as you can see, it's وأنا صغير. It means like while I'm young. But it's understood that that it's not necessarily in the it could be in the present. You could be talking about something that is in the present, but it just depends on context. But yeah, this would always be in the present. And then yeah, so this was happening while you were seeing the teacher, and then Sanad says ما هو عشان هيك ما هو عشان هيك طنشته أصلا. Aslan, of course, like in the first place to begin with, and so on. So that's why I ignored him in the first place. عشان هيك, that's why. And then mahu is related to ma. So ma, again, it's emphatic. And then it's kind of like has fused with who, and who means it or him, right? So it is, and so it has they've kind of fused together into just mahu, which is like exactly, or that's exactly it. That's exactly why. So this could even just be used on its own. Like if someone says, well, not in this case, but you hypothetically you could respond to something by just saying mahu, like exactly. That's the thing. Let's see if I don't know. I think the examples are all kind of like this, where yeah, no, but yeah. So it's just like that's exactly it. And I think that's all I was going to say about that. Yeah. All right. Yeah, that's enough about that. Anyway, then Sally says, Yi, oh yeah, because she sees a cat. Yi, shuf ma ahlaha. And here we see the word ma again, in a very particular construction, which is, remember how I told you that shu can indicate an emotional response to something? Ma also it's used for emphasis, but oh, sorry, what I was going to say earlier that I forgot was that ma well, no, I mean ma and mahu can really just be used in a way even interchangeably, but for example, you could say ma ana حكيت لك. It's like, but I told you. It's just emphasizing that. ما هو أنا حكيت لك. That also works actually, but it's just slightly different. It's the same, but it's different. But it's the same, really. The meaning is still that you're emphasizing something. ما هو أنا حكيت لك is just like saying exactly, I told you. It's kind of separate, whereas this kind of just attaches directly to whatever follows. But as for this, there's a specific construction where I want to emphasize or indicate my emotional response to a specific like quality or characteristic of something. So if shu can be used to indicate an emotional response to anything, as in here, like how she scolds you. Well, ma can be used the same way, but only with qualities, only with adjectives. So if we look at examples of that, if we look at examples of this, see the definition is indicates emotional response to some quality, and a synonym is shu in this sense, but it says indicates emotional response to something, which can be anything. And to build this construction specifically, it has to be ma plus the comparative form of the adjective plus the noun that you're referring to, whether it be a suffix or just the actual noun. So ma azka, well, azka is the adjective, the comparative form. Ma azka, ma ahlaha, from ahla, ma plus ahla plus ha, ma ahlaha. Ma plus ahla plus hum, ma ahlahum. Ma plus azka plus rihathum, ma azka rihathum. Right? And you could say the same thing with shu, but this is more common with adjectives. So this can only be done with adjectives, with ma, whereas shu is more versatile. But when you do use adjectives, it's more common to use this than shu. Even though you could say shu, like for example, yi shuf shu halwe. That would be fine as well. Yi shuf shu halwe. That works as well, but this is more common, I would say, to use ma plus the comparative form when you're gonna indicate your response to some quality, to an adjective. Um, cool. Okay, next thing. So, شوف محلاها, the cat that she's looking at. And Sanad says, أنتِ وهوسك بالحيوانات, you and your obsession with animals. And then this man comes up to Sanad and he says in his car, and he says, مرحبا يا شطور, شو اسمك? أنت ساكن هون? Okay, what's your name? Do you live here? عمو, اسمي سند. My name is Sanad. وين بيتك? بيتي بالشارع هناك. Then عم بدور على صيدلية. So we looked at it. It's just emphasis. It's used to indicate the present continuous, but the simple present already has a continuous meaning, so it's optional. But yeah, so I am, especially when it's like a continuous, like ongoing action at the time of. Yeah. Anyway, well, because I was thinking about this, but you could have said here كان عم بتخوت علي. That would have been fine as well, but it's not used here, for example. So it's just an optional thing. Where is it? So عم بدور على صيدلية, and he says ابني مريض كتير وبده دواء ضروري. So my son is very sick and he needs medicine urgently. ضروري means necessary, but it can be used like adverbially to be like urgently, necessarily now. And of course, biddo, we're going to see multiple uses of it here where, of course, it means to want, but it also means to need, as in this case, and it can also mean to be, that you're going to do something. Obviously, that's when it's used with a verb. Here it's used with a noun. And so whether it's to want or to need, it's really just depends on the context, right? So in this case, he doesn't want medicine, he needs medicine. And then the man says, بتعرف صيدلية قريبة? Do you know a pharmacy nearby? And Sanad says, أكيد في صيدلية في الشارع التاني. Yes, of course, there is a pharmacy on the other street. يعني بتلف من هون وبترجع تدخل يمين. So about this, so of course, you turn here, and then what's going on here? So دخل means to enter physically, but when giving directions, it's common to say like enter onto that street, right? So you're entering on the right, i.e. you're turning right, you're going right. And then reja, we know that this means to return, but this, when it's used with a verb, it like means to do that thing again. So ترجع تدخل يمين means to turn right again, then go right again, or right again. So it means to do something again. There's a synonym for this, which we'll look at below. But yeah, that's that for this. And then the man says, مريت كتير من هذاك الشارع. I passed through that street a lot. شو رأيك? What do you think? What's your opinion? What do you say? بتيجي معي تفرجيني وين. وأنا برجعك على بيتك. How about you come with me and show me where I will return you home. And then his sister starts screaming and being like, Sanad, because he was gonna go with these random people. And so Sanad says, Shu Malik, the man goes away. And Sanad says, Shu Malik, what's wrong with you? What's going on? Sally says, Min hadol, who are those guys? Ushu bidhum fik. So about this, I just want to mention that hada, hadi, and hadol, it obviously means this, masculine and feminine, and these, but this is common to refer to people, and just in general. So min hadol, obviously it means what are those, but or who are those? Sorry, but it's understood that it's who are those guys? Who are they? It's equivalent to who are they actually, and then what do they want from you? Of course, not literally from. It's not bidhum. You could say shu bidhum minnak, but in this case, it's shu bidhum fik, and this meaning of fi is not as in. What do they want in you? No, it's the meaning of with, like by means of, using, like what do they want? What do they want with you? Right? What do they need you for? Essentially, yeah. And then Sanad says, فضحتيني كأني ولد صغير عامل حالك المحقق كونان. So fadah means to, literally to expose someone, to scandalize someone. It's related to the word scandal. But but it's really commonly used, and the meaning, like a more natural translation in English would just mean to like embarrass someone publicly. You're exposing them. Yeah, yeah, expose. Sometimes people translate it that like that, but it's just it doesn't sound natural in English. It's more just embarrassing or shaming someone in public. Um, and in this case, yeah, he just means like you embarrass me in public, right? As though I were a little boy acting. Remember, we saw عامل حاله, acting like, in this case عامل حالك, to his sister, acting like المحقق Conan. And this is a cartoon character that's very popular in the Middle East. Um, it's actually this. It's actually referenced in these cartoons a couple of times. I mean, in these videos, because it's very like, for some reason, it's very popular in the Middle East. Like I think they were just showing it over there, or I don't guess. I know that. Yeah, just a common reference. And then Sanad says يا حرام الزلمة ابنه مريض وبده ياني أدله على صيدلية. So poor guy, ya haram, it's like poor thing. الزلمة, the man's son is sick. الزلمة ابنه مريض. By the way, we talked about in the last videos about how in Arabic, at least in the dialects, it's common to mark the topic of the sentence like, well, just that. Like sometimes the topic of the sentence is not the actual subject of the sentence, and so you mark that topic. And it might come across weirdly in English because this is literally saying, like word for word, it's the man, his son is sick. But the really the meaning, the meaning is the man's son is sick, right? The zalama is just like sort of marking the topic. It's just who you're talking about. So as for this man, his son is sick, and biddo yani, he needs me to indicate, to point him to the pharmacy. And remember, we also mentioned this, how you can't, you can't stack a suffix onto another suffix, and therefore, for the second suffix that you might need, you would have to tack it onto this word iya, or it's just a particle, just to receive that suffix. Now, this it's not very uncommon. It happens when you need to use, especially when you need to use a direct pronoun and an indirect pronoun. We're going to look at some examples of that, which are going to come up. But that's the most common case. But then another common case is with the word biddi or biddo or whatever, because this is a pseudo verb that is always conjugated with suffixes and not in the normal way. So therefore, whenever you want to say, I want this, or like I want it, or I need it, or anything it, or with any kind of object, if the word want or need takes any kind of object, it's always going to be marked like this, because there's no way to stack ni, which is the object, onto o, which is a suffix, as it is a clitic pronoun. So biddo yani, he wants me to show him to the pharmacy. And then Sally says, سند أنت ما بتعرفهم. سند, you don't know them. كيف كنت بدك تطلع معهم بالسيارة? How were you going to? So here bid means will do something. So how were you going to leave with them in the car? And this tila, again, it's a very common and very important word because it has multiple different meanings. And actually, let's just take a look quickly, because actually here it could have two meanings depending, like, well, it could have had two meanings, but it doesn't because of because of mahum. So where's the, okay. So it can mean, it literally means to go up. The opposite would be nizil, to go down. But then it can also mean, like, by extension, to get on a vehicle, to get in a vehicle. Or it can mean to go out, to leave, and it has other meanings. But see, in this case, if it were titla, بالسيارة, if it were just تطلع بالسيارة, that would mean to get into the car, to get in the car. But since it's تطلع معهم, it's leave with them in the car. So see, it can have slightly different meanings, right? And so Sanad says يعني يموت ابنه وهو بدور على صيدلية. Again, و here meaning while, and this is in the present, right? While he's looking for a pharmacy, and يموت, of course, that should he, like it's in the subjunctive without the be prefix, so it's not يعني بيموت. It doesn't mean he is dying. It means that he should he die, should his son die while he's looking for a pharmacy. Then he says لعبت, she played the role دور, لعبت دور الأخت الكبيرة. She played the role of the older sister. خفي علينا, and this is another idiomatic expression which just means like give me a break, or like chill, essentially. Yeah, خف علينا. Then Sally says يلا بلاش نتأخر والماما تقلق علينا. So just want to say that balash is essentially a synonym of bala. But bala is used, remember we looked at it last time. Okay, whatever. We looked at the word bala and how this means like avoid doing something, as in don't do something, let's not do something. It kind of just depends on the sentence, but it's used with a noun, like balaha المبالغة means literally without exaggeration, but the sense is don't exaggerate or let's not exaggerate. بلاها عادة التبويس, literally without the custom of kissing, but it's like let's not do the custom of kissing, like on the cheek, I mean. So that's how bala is used. And balash is essentially, it's the same thing, but it can also be used with verbs like balash نتأخر, let's not be late, right? Or it's like I'd rather not, or it's best if we don't. It's the meaning is pretty flexible in that regard. اشرب القهوة بلاش تبرد. Drink the coffee, otherwise it'll like get cold, or so that it doesn't get cold, or before it gets cold. Don't let it get cold. So yeah. Right. So بلاش نتأخر والماما تقلق علينا. And I think this should make sense, right? تقلق علينا. So تقلق is to get worried, and ala is just indicating like the sort of target or the focus of the action, who you're worrying over. So yeah, so let's not be late and have mom worry over us. And then Sally says, she keeps going, she's like بس نفسي أفهم كيف كنت راح تطلع معهم. Yeah, how you were gonna leave with them. And nifsi, just wanted to say, is it's useful. I mean, it actually has several different meanings as well, but this means like I would like to know. I would, yeah, like it's actually it's synonymous with habib, or even biddi or bahib. But yeah, nifsi afham, I just want to understand. I'd like to know, or I'd like to understand how you were gonna leave with them. It has a literal meaning as a noun, but then with a verb it has this kind of meaning of I would like to. And then okay, next scene. Remember, I haven't been able to split this up between scenes, so it's just one sort of, you have to watch the video and see where it kind of breaks up. Father comes in, he says مرحبا يا حلوين. Mom says يعطيك العافية, which I just translated as welcome home because there's no translation for this. It's used when someone has been working, essentially, or yeah. يعطيك العافية. خليني أقوم أجهز لك الأكل. Let me get up. Let me go. Am means to get up, but also to get up, to go do something. Specifically, not just to go, but to go do something. To yeah. So خليني أقوم أجهز لك الأكل. Let me go prepare the food for you. And the father says ما تغلبي حالك حبيبتي نفسي مسدودة بعد هالخبر اللي سمعته. This is نفسي again. Um, where is it? But in this case, actually, yeah, I just told you that it's used as an auxiliary or like with a verb to indicate like would like to do something. But the actual official meaning is like desire, like appetite. So in this case, he's talking about his appetite. So don't trouble yourself. غلب, important verb, means like to bother yourself with something for someone else, especially. Well, not necessarily for someone else, but just to trouble yourself with something. So don't trouble yourself. Don't bother. Like don't bother with preparing the food. حبيبتي نفسي my appetite نفسي مسدودة بعد هالخبر اللي سمعته. مسدود is like blocked up, obstructed. So essentially, I've lost my appetite after this news that I heard. And then the mom says خبر شو خير. خير, it's another expression. I mean, it has a literal meaning of like goodness, but it's used as a phrase to be like, is everything okay? Or like inshallah khair. Well, it doesn't have to be a question. Inshallah khair, hopefully everything is okay. But as a question, is everything okay? So yeah, خبر شو خير is what news of what? Is everything okay? Talal, which is a name. Talal ibn Abu Talal. Talal Abu Talal's son. بتعرفيهم اللي عنهم مكتبة بآخر الشارع. The ones that have a bookstore at the end of the road. And the mom says, شو ماله? Yes, what's wrong with him? And the father says, كان بلعب. He was playing, right? Past continuous. كان بلعب بالشارع جنب المكتبة وإجت سيارة بتسأله عن صيدلية قريبة. So he was playing in the street next to the bookstore, and a car came asking him about a nearby pharmacy. And he says, تخيلي, imagine, حاولوا يخطفوه. They tried to kidnap him. And then he says, Allah satar, which means like, thank God nothing bad happened. It's used, yeah, essentially that way. الله ستار إنه أبوه كان بالمكتبة وانتبه ولا كان راح فيها الولد. So thank God nothing bad happened, right? Thank God that his father was in the bookstore and noticed. Otherwise, ولا كان راح فيها الولد. This ولا is an important word as well. And in one of its meanings, as in this case, it is otherwise. In fact, it means like, willa is used to mean like or. So it's like au means or. Willa also means or, but it's between two sort of contradictory options. And that's kind of how the meaning of otherwise. It's like or had this not happened, otherwise this would have happened. So yeah, just means otherwise. Mom says شو بتحكي معقول, really? Or what are you saying? Could it be? Really? شو صاير بهالدنيا? What is happening? Active participle in this world. Father says زي ما بقولك, as I'm telling you. والشرطة هيها بتدور على السيارة. So this is another word I wanted to pause with, hay, because it's used in several times in this dialogue. Very important word. So, first of all, it's used to mean here is something. You're presenting something. I'm not sure if it will be used this way in this dialogue, but for example, هاي كلهم مين بدور عليهم? Here they all are, right? Who is looking for them? So you're just showing something to someone. You're just saying, here they are. Here it is. But then with verbs, it actually, like, just depends if you're using it in the past, present, or future. If you use it in the present, it means someone is doing something right now. Actually, this sentence is from the, this is the sentence we were just looking at. As I'm telling you, and the police is right now looking for the car. So here's the police looking for the car. This is the original meaning, but with a verb, it means is doing something right now. It's kind of like which means like a continuous action, but hay is like in the immediate, it emphasizes kind of the immediacy of the thing. If you use it with the future, it means is about to do something. Like هيني بدي أطلع. Here I am. I'm about to go out. It's not just بدي أطلع. I'm gonna go out. It means هيني بدي أطلع. It means I'm about to go out. And in the past, it means something has just happened. Not just it happened, it just happened. Hey, and this is also from this dialogue. Hey, بعتها, I've just sent it to the main center. Anyway, hey, بعتها, I've just sent it. Hey, بتدور, it is looking for it right now. So, very useful word in that sense. Just stresses the immediacy of something, whether when you're showing something to someone or the immediacy of an action, whether right now or right in the immediate future or in the immediate future, in the immediate past, or in the immediate present. That's really what it is. So, هي بتدور على السيارة. Okay, and then the kids are whispering to each other because they know that it's probably the same car, and sorry, I'm just gonna check on the recording just in case. Okay, معقول نفس السيارة? Really? Could it be the same car? And then Sally says, يلا احكي لهم شو صار. Come on, tell them what happened. And now he's telling the parents. It's kind of like skip time lapse. And then he's telling the parents, and he says, أصلاً, I like to start with, أنا أكيد ما كنت رح أطلع معهم. I was definitely not going to. Was not going to leave with them. Of course. So of course I wasn't going to leave with them in the first place. And Sally sarcastically says, of course, أكيد يا حرام الزلمة ابنه مريض يموت يعني. Like he's saying what Sanat had said earlier, just sarcastically. And then the father says, قديش, and now he's mad. He says, قديش مرة حكينا اوعك تحكي للغرباء أي معلومات عنك. This word comes up a lot, so let's take a look. اوعك. The actual verb is وعي, which means to become aware of something. To become aware, conscious, cognizant. But it's often used with the suffix. Well, it can be used with a suffix like awak. That's how I've mostly heard it, but not necessarily. But the meaning is beware of doing something, be careful not to do something, you better not do something, i.e. don't do something. It's essentially like, it just means don't do something, and so you could have said, قديش مرة حكينا ما تحكي للغرباء, or لا تحكي للغرباء, which also works. You can use ما is the main form of negation. La is also possible. It's kind of more formal and kind of strict. But owak is like giving someone a warning. It's a warning. It's not just don't do something. It's a warning. So I'm warning you. You know, how many times have I warned you? Essentially, or no. Well, it's not how many times have I warned you. It's how many times have we said, beware of, don't tell two strangers any information about you, right? لا اسمك ولا وين بيتك ولا مدرستك ولا بنطلع مع حدا غريب. So So ولا means nor. It has multiple meanings, but in this case it means nor. And this structure of neither this nor that nor that nor that nor that, it can optionally start with la. La, this is the official, like in Standard Arabic, this is the main form of negation. But in the dialect, it's not really used very much, but it can be used in this kind of structure to say neither this nor that. So not your name, nor where your house is, nor your school, nor do we leave with someone strange. Gharib means strange, but it also means unfamiliar. So someone unfamiliar, a stranger, i.e., in other words. But yeah, in English, people aren't very strict about the usage of, like, neither, nor, and or. Like it kind of, people kind of mix and match it a lot, and it's the same in Arabic. So don't sort of overthink that. But we'll see that it's this structure will come up again in this video. So yeah, and if you want more information about that, of course, you can open this up and it'll show you formal, yeah, for la, formal, neither, parentheses, nor, and wala as well. Well, actually, this is I selected the wrong meaning. Oh, I selected the wrong word. Because wala is, I selected the determiner, but this is wala as a conjunction, which means neither nor. So, correction. Oh, in fact, what? That's funny. I only had, oh, okay. I only inserted it wrong once because it's used multiple times, but, okay, there we go. And where is it? Okay, so formal, neither this, nor this, nor this, nor this. Okay, there we go. Close that up. Okay, and then Sally says, ula and no, and بيقول عني محقق كونان كمان. So, and no, and he calls me. So, al عن, like, بيقول عني is like he calls me, he says about me. Detective Conan, which I told you who it is. And then the mom says, وحتى لو حد حزنك عليه. This is another, I don't know if I would call this an idiom, but it's kind of like that. So hazan means to make someone sad. And this literally means to make you sad over him. So it means to make you feel sorry for him. So hazano ala, or hazano ale, means to make him feel sorry for him. حزنك so حتى لو حد حزنك عليه, even if someone made you feel sorry for him, وطلب منك تروح معه وتساعده ما لازم ترد. And so even if they made you feel sorry for them and asked you to go with him and help him, you don't need to listen. So rad means to answer someone, but with well, it can also mean like to listen to someone or like to obey someone. So it's used again here. Metro dalehom, don't listen to them. I.e., don't, not like listening, but like to obey. So don't listen to them, don't obey them. Malaz metrod, you don't need to listen, you don't need to obey. So yeah, just special use of this word. And then Imsanad says, وبتقول, and you say to him, whoever this adult is, وبتقول له روح اطلب مساعدة من حدا كبير. Go ask for help from an adult. And then the mom says, وحتى لو قال لك البابا والماما بيقولوا لك تعال اطلع معي ما ترد عليهم. Even if he says to you, mom and dad, or dad and mom, are telling you, come اطلع معي, like leave with me. Oh, actually, I translated this in a different way. I'm telling you, okay, are telling you, leave with me. So even if he told you, dad or mom are telling you, leave with me, اطلع معي, leave with me, don't listen to them. And then the father says to the daughter, bravo عليكي, good, so bravo just means good job to you. يا بابا إنك وقفتي من إنه يطلع. So good job, dear, يا بابا. The father says that to his daughter, of course, that you stopped him from leaving, from going. And then he says, بس كان لازم تحكي معنا على طول تخبرينا. So you should have spoken to us على طول, immediately, right away, and let us know. And the son says, أنا غلطت متأسف. I made a mistake. I'm sorry. And then here's أوعك again. Abu Sana, so the father says, أوعك تعيدها. مفهوم. And see here, so he says don't, right? Or we saw that. And then Eid, don't do it again. Remember what we talked about earlier? How do we say to do something again? We can use the verb rija, which means literally to return, but with a verb, it means to do that again, right? So what was it? ترجع تدخل يمين, to take a right again. And then there's another verb, which is add, which literally means to repeat. So this actually means don't repeat it. In fact, it might be a better translation just to clarify that. But just this means don't repeat it. أوراك تعيدها. Um, um, anyway, yeah. So ترجع تعملها, to do it again. تعيدها, to repeat it. Synonyms. And then the father says, احنا بنحكي هالحكي, we are saying this speech, we are saying these things, لمصلحتكم. So maslaha is like someone's benefit or interest. So لمصلحتكم is for your good, for your own good, as we would say in English. And then the father says, خليني أروح على الشرطة أبلغ عن اللي صار معكم. Let me go to the police to report, is what بلغ means, to report about what happened with you. And then the son says, بابا خذني معك, take me with you. أنا متذكر شكل الزلمة, يعني ممكن أساعد. I remember the man's شكل means the shape, but it's like the appearance of the man. يعني ممكن, so I can help. And then the daughter says وأنا, me too. يمكن عندي, or sorry, يمكن عندي صورة السيارة. So I may have, عندي to have. يمكن عندي صورة السيارة, I may have the car's picture, a picture of the car. Actually, it's the picture of the car. Sorry, excuse me. I wrote here a picture, but it's the car's picture. And I was gonna say, so mumkin means something is possible, or like can do something, and yimkin is maybe. Similar, but slightly different. And then she says, لما كنت بصور بالبسة مبينة السيارة من بعيد. So this is an important word that we'll come back to. But yeah, when I was taking pictures of the cat, maybe I should stop with this. I don't want to dwell too much, but I'll mention something about this. But when I was taking pictures of the car was visible. So مبين means to be visible, or just means visible, but we'll come back to that in a second. So the car was visible من بعيد, from afar. And I just want to say about this B, this is kind of a can of worms, but B, of course, most people know that it means in, but it also means with, so using something. So for example, بكتب بالقلم, I write with the pen, but it's also used with verbs to indicate not just like what you're doing that action with, but like it's another way of intensifying that the action, like that you're doing that action upon something, like not repeatedly, but sort of with that thing in a way, like not just physically using that, but I'm taking in fact it's optional really, because you could say بصور البسة, I take pictures of the cat, but بصور بالبسة is like taking pictures of the cat the whole time. I don't really know if I would. In fact, this is one of those words that I want to think about further, about how to best define it to capture that. Because right now I have all of the usages like this filed under with, like the instrumental meaning, but it's kind of a little bit different. Yeah, but like maybe another example, if it helps you kind of get the idea, is like misik means to grab. So misikni means he grabbed me. مسك فيي means he grabbed onto me or he held onto me. So you're not, it's not like a single action, but it's like the action persists somehow. I need to think about it as well about how to best kind of explain it. Um, but yeah, you may run into this, so just be aware of that. Um, and then now they're at the police station, and the police officer says, "Ushu kan lon sayara," was the car's color. And the Senate says, "Sayara kan lonha," the car's color. The car, see, actually, this is another case of topic marking. So the actual subject is the color. The color, its color was green to gold, like gold green. But the topic is the car. So the car, as for the car, its color was golden green. Um, because if the topic was the car, sorry, if the subject was the car, it would be السيارة كانت something. But no, this is the actual sentence. This is just the topic. Or this is the الخبر. This is the topic. What is it? Anyway, the information that is given about the topic. And then Sally says, وهي صورتها, here's hi. So here is the picture's car, the car's picture. And then the police officer says, شكرا يا ولاد, thank you kids. هي معلومات جدا مهمة. This is like information that is very important information. جدا, little bit elevated speech because he's a police officer, so I guess they try to paint him in a kind of formal light. He speaks kind of formally. Yeah, so this is very important information. And then he says, hey, Bata, right? We looked at this before. I've just sent it, the information, للمركز الرئيسي, to the main center. So I've just sent it, i.e. the information, to the main center. وأكيد راح تساعدنا نمسك هالمجرمين. And I wanted to just sort of dwell on this for a second. So what order are like direct objects and indirect objects supposed to be in? It kind of depends on whether we're dealing with suffixes or not. So whether a direct, like, so whatever, it depends if the object is a pronoun or not, is really what I'm trying to say. So if I say bata, as you can see, the direct object is attached to the verb. But see, notice that here, the indirect object to the central, to the main center, this is not a pronoun. So this comes after. All the objects that are pronouns are immediately, like that would come first and then everything else after. So that's why first we have direct object and then we have indirect object. But what if I wanted to say, I sent it to them, right? So in that case, the actual order of objects is first indirect, i.e. first with la, and then direct. So it's actually the reverse order of what we see here. It would be batilhom first, and then what do we do with this? Well, we'll come back to it in a second. But again, to summarize, all the objects that are pronouns come first, and then anything that is not. So in this case, that's why this appears here. But normally, if this were a pronoun, it would come first. It would be indirect, i.e. la first, and then direct, i.e. ha second. But what did we say before? What happens if I need to follow one pronoun with another? I need to use the like object particle, the particle that can hold the objects for me. So that would be batil. So batilhom with la first, bat ilhom, and then to hold this ha, I would say iyaha. So it would be بعتلهم إياها. The order would actually be the reverse of this, because here it's بعتها للمركز. Whereas if both were pronouns, this would have to come first, and it would be بعتلهم إياها second. Just wanted to kind of mention that as a teachable moment, and it's going to help us to grab or to catch these criminals. And then the police officer says, وشكر لأبو سند كمان, and thank you to, and gratitude, thanks to Abu Sanad as well. And then Abu Sanad says, this is our duty, هذا واجبنا. And then the police officer goes into this just like monologue about being safe, so I'm going to read that. خذوا يا أولاد وراء, well, I'm going to say how he pronounces it. خذوا يا أولاد وراء تعليمات السلامة واقروها منيح. So take, kids, the safety information paper, and read them well. ووزعوها على أصحابكم وجيرانكم عشان توعيهم كيف يتعاملوا مع الغرباء. غرباء, we saw this word before. Actually, I didn't say anything about it, but so gharib means unfamiliar as an adjective, and as a noun, it would mean a stranger. And in general, in the dialect, words that end in standard Arabic in a hamza, they lose the hamza. So when this word is used earlier, the person says غرباء, because also once you lose this hamza, you end in a vowel, and that is never long. That's never long. So it would be, so the stress changes and it becomes غرباء. But because the police officer is speaking in more slightly elevated language, right? He retains the standard Arabic pronunciation of this word, where not only is the hamza here, but that changes the stress to the final syllable. So instead of غرباء, it becomes غرباء. Same word though, and it means strangers. So yeah, and so distribute them, the information, to your friends and neighbors in order to نوعيهم, to make them aware of how to يتعاملوا, to interact with strangers. And wa'a, just wanted to point out that it is the causative. In fact, I don't know if it's marked, if I indicate it as being the causative. But, well, I guess it's not really causative. Anyway, it doesn't matter. So where, we looked at this before, it means to become aware, and of course it means like beware, but it means to become aware, and all this, and then wa'a is to make someone aware. So we see both of them in this dialogue. So in this case, distribute these papers and stuff to make them aware, to raise awareness among them about how to interact with strangers. And then the police officer says, this is the monologue. He says, بعض الأشخاص الغرباء, some, بعض has two meanings. It means each other, but it also means some. So بعض الأشخاص الغرباء, some of strange people, it just means strangers. الغرباء already means strangers, but الأشخاص الغرباء, stranger people. يمكن يبينوا لطيفين بس بيكونوا خطر على حياتنا. So again, bayan. So we saw earlier, إنه السيارة كانت مبينة. It was visible from afar. And bayan, that's the, by the way, that's the active participle. So mbayin is the active participle of bayan, which means to be visible, technically. But it's used with the meaning of to look or to appear to be a certain way. In fact, I didn't even list, I mean, it does mean to be visible, but maybe I should just, well, anyway. Oh, and you know what? It doesn't, I want to add the active participle. Yeah, here it is. I don't have that list for some reason. So, yeah, so bayan is the verb, and here's the active participle, which means visible, apparent, or appearing or looking a certain way. Yeah, so الأشخاص بعض الأشخاص الغرباء يمكن يبينوا, they may look nice, لطيفين, بس بيكونوا, but they are, but be, so they may look nice but be a danger to our lives. Um, uh, yeah, I don't know what else to say about that, but it's just an interesting word. It's similar to sheklo. In fact, yeah, so synonym sheklo. Sheklo, it's a pseudo verb. In fact, bayan, it, it's not, no, well, it's not really, no, it's not a pseudo verb. It's just a normal verb. I don't know why I doubted myself. Um, because it's conjugated normally, but this is not. So sheklo means to seem. So it's not necessarily based on its appearance. It's just, it seems. It seems I left my phone somewhere, for example. شكله تركت تلفوني بشي محل. Whereas this is to look physically. Appears, it seems, but because of your eyes, it seems a certain way. And he says, ما بصير, pause here, صار, we know that it means to become, to happen, but there's a specific usage which is بصير, like literally like this, بصير, in that frozen form, and it means can, or in this case can't. ما بصير, can't. So I can't say or tell. ما بصير أحكي لأي شخص غريب, to any stranger. So I can't tell to any stranger معلومات عني أو عن مدرستي. Wait, معلومات عني أو عن بيتي أو عن مدرستي. So I cannot tell to any stranger information about me or about my house or about my school. Wala, see here it's au, and now there's wala, and so you can just mix them really. So he says, wala, nor can I, ولا أركب معه بالسيارة, ولا أروح معه أي مكان, ولا آكل أو أشرب what? أي إشي بيقدم لي إياه. Sorry, I was thinking about something for a sec. So nor can I get in the car with him, ride in the car with him, or go to any place with him. Yeah, I was thinking about this. Usually راح is used with ala, to go to somewhere, but it doesn't actually necessarily have to be that way. In fact, I think both ways are listed. To go, yeah, there's another way of using it where the meaning is like to visit a place. Because in English you would say to go to a place, but you would say to visit a place. You don't say to visit to a place. So in Arabic, it's kind of the same way where you could say نروح على محل or نروح محل. So ولا نروح ولا أروح مع أي مكان. So here the ala is not used. It's just to say that is, you may see that. ولا آكل أو أشرب أي شيء أي شيء بيقدم لي إياه. And yeah, nothing that he, here it is. And so I can't eat or drink anything that he presents to me, that he offers me. So here we see the indirect object first, and then yeah, the direct object stuck onto this. Okay, حتى لو قال لي تعال أفرجيك إشي أو ساعدني بهالإشي. Even if he told me, come so I can show you something or help me with this thing. لازم أهرب, I need to get away. لازم أهرب وأطلب المساعدة من حدا بثق فيه. I need to get away and ask for help from someone I trust. And I wanted to pause here briefly. So this is a very particular verb. So in standard Arabic, verbs that start with waw, where the root starts with waw, they lose the waw in the imperfect, sort of in the non-past tense. So for example, whistle, wasila, I don't know. Don't ask me about standard Arabic, but in the present this would be yasilu. So the waw is lost, but in the dialects, the waw is kept. So bawsal, busal, it does remain. But this verb, which is to trust, is basically, it's so like formal, I guess, that that it is common to lose the waw with it, which is very unusual, essentially. But the verb is wathaq, and in the present it would be bathiq, like this. So there, I mean, it's not out of the question to say bathiq, but this is also completely normal. Bathiq. So min hada bathiq fi, from someone I trust. And notice that I'm pronouncing the eth as eth and the qa as qa because of how it's formal. And the police officer says, "Ana jay fawran," I'm coming immediately, and or because he's on the phone and someone called him, and then the father says, "Shu sidi, what is it, sir? La'ud, did they find him? Hey La'ud, they've just found him." See, this is now in the past. They've just found it. وأنا لازم أتوجه للموقع, and I need to head to the site. And then the police officer says, "أنا فخور فيكم جدا يا أولاد," I'm very proud of you kids. And then now the kids are talking to the audience and they say, "وأنتوا كمان يا أصحاب," and you also, friends. "إذا بتحبوا تنزلوا تعليمات السلامة عشان تستفيدوا منها وتوزعوها أصحابكم اكبسوا هون." And that's it. If you would like to download the safety information in order to learn from it, and distribute it among your friends, click here. And yeah, istafad, not just to benefit, which is the sort of literal meaning, but also to learn. So مثلا شو استفدنا من هذا الفيديو? What did we learn from this video? I hope we learned a lot. That's all I have for you for now. Hopefully that was helpful. واستفدت كتير. And yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, these videos are inevitably going to be long, so I shouldn't be too surprised. But yeah, at least I went through it pretty quickly though. But these videos used to be actually longer, and the power of PalWeb lets us go through it much more speedily. So yeah, anyway, hope that was helpful, and I will see you in the next one.